And when people came and said, what do I do to be saved? And he said, do this. And they said, no. He said, okay. You're free. You're free to go about it. So that the presentation of Christ in history, the truth in history, is like that. It's not the Orthodox way is not to be, in any way impinge. I mean, God totally and utterly and scandalously respects our freedom, and He will never do violence to it because it's totally contrary to love. And it's contrary to any kind of spiritual
and it's made
community.
in His image.
Right. He's not going to do it. So this film is not going to be, it's not going to be any kind of like, there's no worry on anybody's part, anybody who's participating, that there's going to be any of that manipulation. At the same time, there's no worry on our part as Orthodox that we're going to undermine the faith. Right. Why would that be the case?
If I'm hearing you guys correctly, it's not so much an Orthodox apologetic critique of all these other traditions as much as it is allowing the proliferation of Christianities to self-express and then tie that to a historical and geographical timeline so that people can logically come to their own conclusion about the church of the first millennia.
Yep. I think if people want to know and they should know, especially because we want you to give money. If you want to know sort of what it might look like, I want you to picture Anthony Bourdain going and sharing a table. And then after the table, there's a back narrative, me, after a talk with lots of interesting conversation and questions for, I don't know, Mel Gibson, the folks we're going to get on, Jonathan Peugeot, whatever. There's this colonial Portuguese guy in Mozambique we got to get on. And afterwards, it's me sort of narrating like, that was an interesting thought he had. It was similar to the guy we talked to in Cincinnati, but something's not right. And then we go to another person, and it's truly investigative in the sense that, unlike maybe Father Peter, I actually walk around more like a person confused. Father Peter's less confused. I have real confusion when I'm throwing a dinner and I'm this tamada and I'm making a toast to family, and I hear somebody who's like genuinely 100% Baptist, and they make a toast that is 100% Orthodox, and I get confused. I just want everyone on who's listening. I go, that guy sounds just like St. Paisios. What do I do with that? Like, I actually am asking that, and that's what the film. What do I do with it? Like, okay, how does that work? And I know if someone's on here going, that sounds like some ecumenism. I'm just telling you what I heard.
Right. So the idea is that the fervency of people's personal beliefs obviously translates across these denominations and these Christianities, but seeing how they conceive and conceptualize what their faith is, means, and where it comes from will be something that the watcher will journey through from all these different perspectives.
Yeah. I think so. Father Peter, can I say it like this? Because I'm not a priest or whatever, a preacher. I might be, though. I might have been the actual preacher in the family. I'm going with that. Are we through film? So you know how there's a soul and there's a contour to it? Like, all souls aren't just like cut out block souls exactly the same. They're all life. They're all giving life to us. But you know how some souls have contour, and if we could smell them, they have a certain smell, they have a certain sound. We're trying to illuminate the soul of Christ on earth, of Christ's body on earth, and through film. Now, we can't do it because it's not sacramental in the sense we're not offering it through the church, but we're offering a way to feel and sense that which is real without making it a polemic. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
If people talk about how do you come and convert to Christ, to his body, to become a true Christian, that process is not mainly, although it's not irrational, it's not mainly rational. In other words, it's not a rationalistic process. It's not a 2 and 2 is 4 process, right? If it's true and it's heartfelt, it's going to be heartfelt. It's going to be not sentimental, but not logical, but supra logical. It's going to be intuitive, if you want to use that word. It's going to be an encounter, a personal encounter. Like when I walked into the Orthodox Church 30 some years ago, nobody talked to me. The scene I saw, I didn't understand. The language was mostly, I think it was mostly Greek. I don't remember.
I was going to ask if it was a Greek church.
Yeah, it was about half Greek, half English, I think. But it was not, on one level, if I would look back on it, it was pretty uneventful. But it was a huge event for me. So obviously there was something going on there that is much, much more than. So this is the idea that we're going to discursively, rationalistically argue for orthodoxy, present orthodoxy. I just think that's not how it works. It's not that I don't want to do it. I'm just like, that's not how it's ever worked for. Like they went to Constantinople, the Russian emigres, and they said we didn't know we were on heaven and earth, right? It was. Yeah. Did anybody like argue with them? Like you need to do. Sure, that's one aspect of the whole process. But if that's all it is, not only are we not really converting, we can't live a Christian life like that. It's not a Christian life.
Well, think about all the arguments, and we could joke about this, Father Pierre, but think about people out there, all the arguments you won with your parents. You didn't convince them of nothing, okay?
True.
But you definitely won some arguments like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have taken out the garbage and put it there because of the flies. Yeah, you shouldn't have done that, Dad. Yeah, but it's irrelevant. It's almost irrelevant that you used your words to win the argument. You didn't move hearts. And that's, we got to watch out, right?
Right.
We got to watch out how we use our words.
It's not going to be like contrary to the faith once delivered. It's not going to be undermining it, but it's also not going to be limited by that. And I think people immediately think, well, it's got to be apologetic, right? It's got to be a polemical. No, it doesn't. It actually does not have to be that way. There's actually a lot of ways to share orthodoxy. So, or discover the truth about the church and the history of the church. So I think that hopefully it will be. I was talking to somebody I don't know if I should want to mention his name because we didn't say we were going to go public with it, but somebody who's very, very well known in evangelical circles, and we were talking today, and he thinks this is going to be a huge hit. This is going to be like a massive documentary to be remembered, and it's going to change the face of this Christian, documentary world. It's going to, but I mean, that's just his idea. But the thing he wanted to say was more in terms of, the people are searching for not innovation and renovation, which is basically what defines most of Protestant Western Christianity.
Yeah,
for
just
a long
Western
time.
Christianity in general.
Yeah, they're looking for that which is constant and diachronic, and so I think that if that's the milieu of what's going on today, you don't need to say much. You just need to present it. You just need to present. Here's what these people say about Christianity. Here's what those people say. Here's what we discover when we go, to the old world, and it's going to speak for itself, just like Christ's presence spoke.